This in Arbitrage.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How is everybody out there doing on a beautiful Saturday? A beautiful Saturday in March. Excuse my voice. Had to coach the boys had to coach our young boys basketball game today, so it was a little yelling. They won, so I guess it was worth it. We had a show for you today. It's something that we have spoken about before, but it keeps it reoccurring in the in the news feed. So we wanted to talk about that. But we wanted to take a little minute to let a few people get in the room, and then that way we can just jump into the topic. But for everybody who's popping in, let us know how you're feeling, what's going on this Saturday, a beautiful Saturday, very beautiful sunny Saturday down here in Mexico.
It was. It's nighttime now.
Yeah, it's nighttime now.
We're 2 hours behind y'all. I know it's 9:30 there, but it's only 7:30.
Yeah, it's only 7:30 here, so the kids still running around. They ate up all the food, I believe. As I look over there might be some food over there. But yeah, they're big eaters, man. They're boys. You got four boys. They're big eaters, and you just got to feed them. You just got to feed them. That's a big, that's a big part of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feeding them. But I just had one very specific article I wanted to go over, and then we could just break out and see how people feel about it, and that's really what I wanted to do today, if I could. Just waiting. Yeah, I just want the article, or if you want to pop in on the article, it's no matter.
I think baby thought he was gonna get the phone.
Yeah. So if I so here so the overall trend or the thought pattern is that you see a lot of people who are borderline Gen X. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Gen X and or early millennials. They're having this problem that they are in a place where they have a some kind of job or career where they're making the most money they ever made, and they're still check to check. And so I want to just read this over and see if we could talk about it. It's going to be the one from Fortune. So Fortune.com, which is a very reputable website. Yeah, just a part of it, not all of it. Yeah, it's just part about this young lady. So this young lady, a 40-year-old lady named Nikki, wow, Samino, yeah, just right there from that part. Nikki Samino.
Nikki Samino is a 40-year-old recruiter living in Denver. Said she finally saved up enough to buy a condo last year, but missed out on the ultra-low interest rates that had made homeownership more affordable. Her 5.25 interest rate pushed her monthly payments to $1,650 a month after a divorce in 2020, and she's shouldering $4,000 in credit card debt.
Yeah, so that's one thing you have to talk about. So right there, that could be difficult. She had a divorce. It didn't mention anything about children and all that, but it did mention her credit card debt, $4,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that monthly payment depends on the APR.
And as a recruiter, I mean, she could be making $40,000 a year. I mean, you know what I mean? It didn't say she was an executive recruiter.
Right.
She's 40. She's probably making between 30 and 50,000 a year, maybe more because she lives in Denver, right?
Yeah, Denver. And so we did a show on the places you live. The zero line was kind of like Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio, Charlotte as well. But Denver is going to be a little higher on the line. So she's not. If she's only making what you say she's making, it doesn't sound like her condo payment is that much, but she still has $4,000 credit card debt.
We don't know if she has student loan debt. We don't know what her other expenses are.
Right. We don't know about car loan debt,
Right.
insurance. These are people who are still saying that I made the most that I've ever made,
That's what she said.
but I'm still paycheck to paycheck. And you hear this a lot, and you hear this all the way up to the hundreds of thousands, people making this amount of money and still living paycheck to paycheck. And so I go in on that, because in the last few years, there was this big thing on people making $100,000. Well, when I say people, I should say men making over six figures and all this stuff. And sometimes it doesn't matter, y'all. Sometimes it doesn't matter. That's why you have to stay stacking your satoshis, stacking your ounces, and stacking anything else that you may be investing in. Because the number is the number. But if you make $100,000 and you live in Manhattan, rate adjusted, I think from the last chart I saw,
That's 40.
it's 40,000. That's 40,000. And so you could tell somebody you make $100,000 and you live in Manhattan. What does it matter? You make $100,000, but you live in LA. That's why we're trying to say, get past the number, right? You want to be, you want to be debt free.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be one of the goals: is debt free, added on with putting away for your progeny, right? Wouldn't you think that? Do you think that that's something you would think of?
But I wanted to read this next case because of the
Okay.
ages.
Yeah.
Before I move on to the next use cases, hi BK Crypto.
BK
Hi
Crypto.
Crypt Work. Mo, welcome to the room. BK Crypto said it's crazy. He said New York, it's insane. Mo said, yeah, I bought Bitcoin at $100. Only have 300 of them. Now I buy ISO tokens. Mo sounds like a bot, but let's see. Magnolia Pelican, good evening. Thank you so much for joining our show. But this next one, I think we should read to them. So Denise and Paul Nierzwicki, I guess they're Polish. Their credit cards are the only way to make ends meet. The couple, ages 69 and 72, respectively, have $20,000 in credit card debt spread across multiple credit cards. All of their interest rates on their credit cards are way above 20%. It says the trouble started during the pandemic when Denise lost her job. She's 69, she still works. And a business deal for a bar that they owned in their hometown of Lexington, Kentucky went bad. They applied for Social Security, which helped. Denise now works 50 hours a week at 69 years old. Let me say that again. She's almost 70. She works 50 hours a week, which is more than obviously the 40-hour work week at a restaurant. And they're barely scraping together the minimum payment for credit card debt. So if they're barely scraping it together for credit card debt, imagine the other expenses and how crushing that may be.
So, and that's a big deal because in those age ranges, we've talked about this before, but let's go back on it again. If you if you get right into it, homelessness is becoming more and more and more of a problem. So the most homeless people that you're seeing now are women and children. But in that way, she's saying that man is over 70 years old. She's about to be 70. They're on the brink of homelessness because they can't work forever, right? She's 69 and working 50 hours a week. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I don't know how long people think that they can work and how long it's not healthy. It's not healthy. So homelessness, you go out there on the West Coast, Portland, Seattle, what's the other place?
All of that West Coast.
Oh yeah, LA, San Francisco, all this stuff you just see is homeless. You see these homeless tent cities popping up everywhere because People can't work anymore. You go watch a YouTube video of somebody who was a microbiologist, but now they're homeless.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. You had a PhD in microbiology and you're homeless. So because you can't work anymore. And that's the thing. That's the thing we got to keep in mind. How are we going to get to the end of this? How are we going to get to the end of this?
And then there's one more use case.
Oh, okay, yes. Go on.
I do want to say thank you, Tommy Brown, for joining us. He said he finally cut alive. And MO is human. Yay, I'm glad. Okay. Sometimes we get the little bots that come in the room, so I always have to check. Brittany Walling, she's 29 years old in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to do the numbers.
Oh, boy.
I feel like Foxy Brown, we're about to do the math. 80,000 in federal student loans, 20,000 in private debt from undergraduate and graduate degrees, 6,000 in credit card debt. So right now we're at 106,000. Well, let's say there's 100,000 in just school loan stuff, right?
Okay.
Then she has 6,000 in credit card debt.
Right.
But how much does she make? Let's see.
Yeah, that's always the
Oh,
question.
sorry. So we know that she has at least a master's degree because it said graduate school debt. She only makes $50,000 a year working for the public health department.
What does she have a master's degree in? So people will ask these questions about what are you getting your degrees in? Because this is a heavy investment. You're talking about a six-figure investment in your education, and you go back and you make $50,000 for the public health department. I'm not sure what she's doing, but it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up at all. And she's 29. She's got time. She's got time.
But I also want to read what she said because it's just showing you how many people are clueless. So listen to her quote. Brittany says, I can't even save. I don't have a savings account. So the fact that she brought up not having a savings account is a tell already. I just know that a lot of people are struggling. Something needs to change. She said, for Walling, the sentiment isn't necessarily going to be a decisive factor at the ballot box. While she said she was disappointed that Biden's student loan debt forgiveness plan was struck down by the Supreme Court, her views, forget all of that. All that extra stuff ain't important. But this is what, that's the baby. This is what, do you have a second article?
No,
Okay.
That was the main article.
This is what we're talking about when we say we have to strategize and have these strategical plans and methods and preparation so that it doesn't matter who's in the ballot box. Don't matter who wins the presidency. Doesn't matter who your senator is. Doesn't matter who your congressman is. Doesn't matter what country you're in. Doesn't matter what city you live in, right? Where you are in full control of your own economic health.
Yeah. And one of the telling things about those articles that she read is that you had people in their 70s having the same struggle as somebody about in their 30s.
Right.
And so it's about being prepared, right? The people in their 70s, maybe they weren't prepared, maybe they were, things happened, they used the money, but this woman who is in her 30s still has a chance. But that's why I'm worried about the people in their 70s, because that leads to homelessness. And it's turning, it's really a big problem over there on the West Coast, right? And because I think in LA that's 10 square blocks of just homeless people, and they just keep it that way.
And that's LA. What about now? Is it Kensington Avenue?
Oh, Kensington.
That's different because of the drugs.
Kensington
right?
is big in Philadelphia. That's a lot of drug and homelessness.
But the homelessness is mostly due to the drug problem.
Yeah.
Whereas on the LA, these are citizens of a community who got laid off or whatever the issue is.
You can't work forever. You can't work forever. I was a firefighter. I had some injuries. I couldn't just keep on working and working and working. So, I had to get up out of there. And And there's other things that can happen to you, whatever your profession is, that won't allow you to work, quote unquote, work forever, right? And people also, because a lot of people working from home are getting aged out the market, right?
Because of the technology.
The technology and the fact that you can hire somebody with the same skill set younger and pay them probably half,
And they'll get more done.
and they'll get more done, right? Because I gotta be out for my knee replacement. I gotta be out
Not
for
my
for my hip replacement. And then you get somebody that's 23, they just gonna work.
They don't get
Yeah,
sick
they
of
just
nothing.
gonna work. Yeah, they're sick of it. So you
Not
gotta
my
be
replacement.
not the replacement. You gotta be on the lookout for ageism, right? Because people act like, no, it's no ageism. I say there's sexism, there's racism. So why isn't there ageism?
But the 29-year-old, she may need time off because she got her boobs done or something.
Oh, well, I ain't seen what she look like.
All right, we're gonna talk to some more people in the chat. All right, so Mo is human and say, yeah, that's because our people were not tough. Now we have the internet. Most people don't want to listen. I tell our people every day about crypto. They say it's a scam because they're stuck in their ways. And yes.
Yeah.
So one thing we realized, I'm saying it in a nice way. One
Okay.
thing we've realized is that wealth and the mindset that goes with it, right, has always been a minority game. Meaning, it's always been the minority of people who have the wealth, and then the majority of the people struggle. So while it is our passion to orange pill as many people as possible, I think I personally would like to shift gears a little bit, right? We'll throw the fishnet. The word of God says, cast your net upon the waters, and in many days it shall return unto you. Just meaning you should get some type of return on your investment. But I just think that at this point, we should really shift our focus to those who are interested. Because I think there's a lot of us who have been spending a significant amount of time almost beating a dead horse, forcing this dead horse to drink water, like just doing all of the proverbial things they tell you not to do, casting your pearls before
Yeah,
swine.
we trying to get out of here, man. And the old saying, get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, you gotta get to the
You
chopper.
showing your age now.
Yeah, you gotta throw that rope down. You gotta climb up that rope. Like, that's hard too.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, if you ever
What was
tried
that,
to do
Commando?
Yeah.
So that's 1984. Alyssa Milano was like 6 years old in that movie.
You're not strong. You gotta be the climb up that
Anyway,
rope.
so with that being said, Mo, all right, and all the other content cousins who are listening, I think like go ahead and cast your net out, but let's focus on the fish that we catch in the net. Not the fish who are like, yeah, I'm good on your net. Right? I'm just gonna spend this fiat money till the wheels fall off. I'm gonna open a savings account. Don't you worry about me, orange pillar. Right? You just let them open the savings account, okay? And you take your little orange pills and you go to somebody else, right? Even in the Matrix, remember in the movie The Matrix, he gave Neo a choice. Take the red pill or the blue pill. Right? He didn't try to force the pill down his throat. He did give him a choice, and we need to do pause. And we need to do this. Like, Cameron would love this stupid show. Cameron, if you're watching, this is your fault. Cameron and Mace, this is your fault.
Friend of the show,
And the kids, you got the kids saying it now, and it's like the adult children saying it, and it's a hot mess in here now. But we still need to do the same thing, right? Give them the orange pill and whatever the alternative pill is, the placebo, I guess, and then go about our business, but spend our time, spend our energy on the people who are interested. There's a young lady that comes on here, and I'm not being facetious, Tawana Mayo.
Yeah.
And she says she's only been in this space for 2-3 years. She's trying to catch up. She feels like she's late. I want to shout her out and send her all of the love from the Simon Family Investment Ventures. But she has a lot of questions. That is who we sit down with. That's who we spend time answering all the questions that she or whoever may have. And I think that in the space should kind of shift our gears that way, right? We often do the train leaving the station
Yeah. The chief says that.
metaphor.
Yeah, the chief says that.
Right? The train is leaving the station. We are standing on the rail and we're holding our hands out as you're running towards, we're trying to pull you on. But we don't need to throw our body halfway across the railing for the person who's just standing on the platform and isn't interested in getting on the train. Right? So these kind of things. The Bible, you guys know I'm real heavy in the Bible. It's like, he was very honest. He went and he preached all over. Y'all know Christ went all over and preached here, there, and everywhere. But he was also very serious when he said, hey, don't cast your pearls before swine. If you go into a town and they don't want to hear the good word, they don't want to hear the gospel, they don't want to hear your message, he said, shake the dirt off your feet. He said that before Jay-Z said it. Shake the dirt off your shoulder. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's the Black Album, y'all. I want my hip hop heads to get in the chat. Shake the dirt off your feet. Take your peace with you. He didn't say leave it there. He said take it with you.
Yes.
And move on to the next town. Like don't waste your time with people who don't want to be orange pilled, right? But just like in the Matrix, he did give him a choice. You take the red pill, you take the blue pill. We got to give them the same alternative. You take the orange pill. At this point, I'm going to call it the placebo, and you go back to your life the way you like it with all that fiat money that's going to come back to the shores worthless, and you do you, boo. And that's what we're going to have to do with all of the love in our heart.
Yeah, we do. And let's check out some comments. Excuse me, y'all.
This is what happens, right? Because you can't take Black people nowhere. He went and coached his son's basketball team, and all he did was yell, scream, stamp his feet. Coach Ralph Lee, if you are watching our live, this is your fault. I'm blaming everybody today.
Yeah.
I would like to reach out to Coach
You got it's a big problem with Mexican referees.
Yes, he likes to argue with them.
Yeah, they argue with me. And then once they say they don't like me, so now it's a problem every Saturday.
But you know that because our sons are the best on the team, and our 16-year-old is getting scouted by overseas recruiters. So you got to remember the overseas recruiters are looking at the Black American kid and overlooking the Mexican, and they're going to feel a way about that because in their mind, we already have all of the opportunities at our feet and stuff. But we just Black excellence. I don't know what to tell y'all. But Coach Ralph Lee, if you out there in Cincinnati, this is you, all right? This is what you've created.
And for my people out there who know about basketball, I just got to keep screaming, finish at the rim.
Oh, my God, y'all.
Just
y'all pray for me.
Rim.
I keep asking y'all to pray for me.
Just finish at the rim, make your free throws, play some defense, get down low. I'm just saying the basic stuff.
Okay. David Middleton, I want to welcome you to the room. Thank you for listening to me gripe about my husband yelling during basketball games. Mo said, yeah, AI is taking over. One of my friends in Florida had a robot do surgery on them. Everything's going digital. Everything will be tokenized. That is correct. Mo, funny thing, I'm not sure if you're familiar with HBAR, Hedera Hash Graph. Yes. So Mike Maloney has this great series called The Secrets of Hidden Money. And I think the series was produced between 2012 and I'm going to say 2014.
Yes.
And the owner of Hedera Hash Graph was telling you about his vision. And in his vision, what he wanted was where everything's tokenized, everything is on the blockchain, but it's a way to keep things transparent, honest. It's a way to, if not reduce, definitely eliminate rehypothecation, right? But the problem is now we're turning into, I own your domain, and we're already having that problem, right? I own your domain, I own your name. You see with celebrities, they go run into court because when they have children, they don't want anybody to trademark their children's names and use it and so on and so forth. And this is only going to get easier and faster with tokenization and blockchain. So everything God makes for good, the devil like to come in and just turn it all the way around, right? You don't want somebody to tokenize your need that you just got replaced. That's my husband. As Hubby Cake stated in the last scenario, but they own your need in some which weird shape or form. They were able to tokenize it for themselves, and it's just going to turn into a weird world. And now you're leasing the need from somebody. I just feel like they're trying to find ways to keep that yoke around your neck, to keep those shackles on your feet.
Yeah.
Even though we keep trying to find ways to utilize this technology to free us, to give us the independence, to give us above board dealings.
Yeah, and people in the chat room helped me. There was a movie with Forrest Whitaker, and I can't remember the white man's name. He's a British actor.
You were leasing your organs.
Yeah, they were leasing organs, and if you didn't pay on them cats was coming to get them.
They were it was called repossession or something like
Yeah,
that.
they was just coming to get them, take
Yeah,
them out your body.
but if you look at the movie now, we didn't know it then because the movie was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
If you look at it now, it looks like the organs were tokenized in a sense. With the
Yeah.
technology they had to kind of like understand, they look like NFT organs or tokenized organs.
Yeah, because they knew where you were. They knew he was coming to kick in the door like a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And he was gonna take the organs right out your body.
Yep. So now this, and they always tell you up front what they're gonna do beforehand. So MO, that is unfortunately the reality. So if you know, thank you so much for joining us. If you know is our peoples. Have you guys done any research in basic income, the universal basic income? Yes, we have. How many jobs created in the jobs report is government jobs? Simon used to know what percentage of government employees are Black. That he knows.
That from it's an older statistic from Neely Fuller.
Dr. Neely Fuller.
Dr. Neely Fuller, he would say 66% of Black people have government jobs in the United States of America, as I would say.
And we are watching the pilot programs of the universal basic income. We're watching the incentives that are being offered for it. Now, here's a funny story, you guys. For those of you who know your history, in the 1960s, 1970s, the start of that universal basic income obviously was welfare. But you want to look at the way they incentivized you and what they wanted in return for the welfare. And what did they want, ladies? They wanted your husband out the house. They would give you a bit more money for groceries. They would give you subsidized rent and a few other little, what I like to call butter biscuits, as Tariq Nasheed would say.
Shout out to Tariq.
And you can see that that's constantly evolving, but you want to look at what are you getting for the universal basic income? Well, we all know that according to the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's where it starts. If we look at China, China already has some of these pilot programs in place, and they're based on your social credit scores. If you don't be a good little citizen, right? If you're not a good little slave, your ass in trouble. You can't buy anything, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, and you'll be isolated because if people who have higher social credit scores are coming around you because their phones are coming into contact with your phone, their credit scores are going down. So you're literally the apple spoiling the bunch.
Yeah, and we see it here. We see it here as far as Uber, right? You got an Uber score.
You're already saying that.
Whatever, it's 4.9, 4.8.
If you talk too much to the Uber driver, if you got an attitude problem, they're gonna do stuff to drop your rating. And after a while, what happens when Uber and Lyft and your other rideshare programs drop your credit? You have to wait longer.
Yeah.
Maybe your car don't come for you at all. They charge you more, so you're gonna get a premium price versus the person who has 5-star social credit score on Uber, et cetera, whatever rideshare program it is. But then that also begins to, because Uber also has Uber Eats. If your social credit score on Uber is bad, it is going to permeate into your Uber Eats score and then spread to your DoorDash. And it's a way to really keep you in line. Now, granted, some of y'all need that credit score to go down because y'all be acting the fool on this internet. I've seen some terrible videos.
Because we move around a lot on Airbnb.
Airbnb does social credit score.
That's a social credit score. What is your score here? And people can look at you. They're super hosts.
Right. So you get access to instant booking.
Yeah.
We get the super host. We get access to instant booking. We get discounts. We now have they have this great program where it's like you can pay half now and half before your booking.
Yeah, before your booking.
Right? So like the higher your social credit score is, and we're a family, so they love that, right? We know you're not gonna party, you're not gonna bring girls over, you're not gonna drink, you're not gonna do drugs, you're not gonna have all this stuff going. So we know you're gonna take care of the house, you're gonna clean it up and leave it. So we get all of these great perks. I get coupons every now and then from Airbnb, but you're just seeing how they're already baby stepping you into that universal base income based on social credit scores. For the World Economic Forum, and I'm still talking to you, if you know, they're doing the social carbon credits as well. What type of carbon footprint do you leave? If you leave a large carbon footprint, they're gonna ground you, your car's not gonna work. They were doing a push for the EVs, the electric vehicles, but we see there's been a huge halt in that with multiple manufacturers, and we'll talk about that on a different show. But if you know, you can see all of the different ways that they're already trying to implement these things. Now, for those of y'all on here, if you've ever watched, it's a great show on Netflix called Black Mirror, right? It's a very dystopian show, but it's so accurate, it's so on point, and so scary, it's not funny. So y'all check out Black Mirror, because they've already showed us that like 8 seasons ago. Wilmer Bechteler. I don't know if William Bechteler, I think Wilmer is a bot. I'm glad MO isn't a bot, but I think Wilmer is a bot. Let freedom ring. I read that. I just read that. That was if you know, who asked about the stats and the basic income. Let freedom ring. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us. I just want y'all to know that Let Freedom Ring has been with us, I think, from like the 3rd or 4th episode, and we're 130 episodes in. Let's give Let Freedom Ring a round of applause, because you've been one of our most avid supporters, and we appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir.
If you know, said the answer to those questions scare you. Yes, I know they scare us too. Mo said, yes, no matter who is president, you have your choices on your finances, and that's what we're working on. And that's what this show is all about. Mo said, XDC, XRP, XLM, HBAR, Quant. You want to talk to Big Grizz, AKA the Chief Mo. We're going to put you in touch with him, because that's his alley right there. That's the street he live on. We have all of those, but he's very passionate about them. So he talks about them. Mo, if you go in the drop down, you can subscribe to, it's Big Grizz, AKA the Chief, and he talks about that. So there may be some content that you're interested in. That is our content cousin. BK Crypto loves the pauses. While I'm on BK Crypto, content cousins, this is Mama Simon here to remind you we are supporting our content cousins.
Thank you.
BK Crypto has crypto swag. And if ever a time to get that swag out and brag, right? Wear your sauce. This is the time to do it, right? With Bitcoin, I know it's kind of dancing between 64 and 69. It has no top. It's getting there, right? We're just waiting patiently as it does what I call bailamos con Bitcoin, right? We're dancing with Bitcoin.
I finally got a Bitcoin t-shirt, and it was $7,500. And so, go ahead, get your Bitcoin t-shirt.
Definitely. If you go in our drop down, you can access BK Crypto's website. He's got a lot of great swag. We are not sponsored by BK Crypto. He does not pay us to do these advertisements, but he is our family. He's also your family. So we do want to support him with the swag. Proceeds from the swag do go to his crypto educational group. He's able to orange pill audiences that we don't have access to and other content cousins on the network don't have access to. So whatever we can do to support one another in orange pilling the community, and for those who already orange pill, just kind of supporting them with information, education, all of the good stuff that we know to do, we should do that. So just understand that some of your proceeds absolutely go towards that education group. I believe children are also part of his education group.
Yes, indeed.
So we believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way, y'all. Time of Dawn said, ha, ha, ha. That's you and your pauses they laughing at.
Oh, my stupid pauses.
Yes. Mo said, I'm Black and Jewish. Listen, people, King Solomon asked God for wisdom. And King Solomon became wealthy because God gave him knowledge, because knowledge is power. And for those of y'all, I'm not Jewish, Mo, but I might be. I might be tribe of Judah. You never know. Wisdom. When you read the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, they talk about how important wisdom is. And then they also talk about her inverse, which is the whore. Yeah, wisdom is female in the Bible. When you read Proverbs, he personifies her as a woman.
Okay.
And she is one of the most important women in your life, wisdom. Um, Ask God for wisdom, he'll give it to you. But her inverse is the whore, right? And when we say the whore, we don't necessarily mean like sexually and stuff like that, but he uses it to talk about people who are what we call mercenaries. They're willing to do anything for anything. They're willing to do it to anyone. They will stab you in your face for 25 cents, right? So they're talking about that profile, and they are two different profiles. Wisdom, right? For those of you who are kind of like, well, what's the difference between wisdom, information, knowledge? What's the difference? Wisdom is the ability to apply information and the knowledge you have into a real world application and getting an outcome, right? And typically the outcome you desire. So that's what wisdom is, it's the application of it. There are people out here, they're part of Mensa. For those of you who don't know what Mensa is, people with extremely high IQs are part of this group. Some of those people can't tie their shoes, okay? So while they are extremely intelligent, they can pass the paper test, they don't have what we call like the common sense.
Yeah.
Right? Which means they are unable to apply all of the information and the knowledge they have into a real world application outcome. People have to take care of them. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. But wisdom is very, very important, and it's something that you really want to, it's part of your life portfolio, right? You want to have a huge percentage in the wisdom. BK Crypto, true that. Can't force people. You're correct. Go with those who see it. Hey, Bam Hardrick. I want to shout you out. I want to shout out your wife, CC. I absolutely love following CC on Facebook. I love her farm updates, the updates with the baby, the eggs, the chickens, the hatchings. Bam has a farm. They have very clean living. They're what we like to call off the grid and independent. There's a freedom there. CC, shout out to his wife.
Yes,
She's an
indeed.
incredible Black woman. I'm so proud of her. And when I read her posts, it makes me feel proud to be a Black woman, because right now in the space, some days I don't be so proud. So I want to shout the Hardricks out with their farm and their endeavors.
Yeah, man. The only thing you got to watch out with the Hardricks, man, is I
The
believe
Cowboys fan.
the Cowboys fans. So you got to watch out for
Bam, you knew it was coming. You knew your Bengals buddy was going to say something.
You got to watch out for Cowboys fans, man.
Timadon, what made me really understand Bitcoin is the mining part. I was looking into what is the cloud, and he took me down a rabbit hole. I love Bitcoin, Timadon, because of the rabbit hole, right? I don't know if I've even come up from the rabbit hole since my husband dragged me down that mud however many years ago. We just kind of be like moving around, looking at stuff, meditating on it. All of these great revelations come to us about Bitcoin.
I want to circle back around to something that somebody said. I want to get my voice back best as I can.
Stop yelling at the children's games. Stop yelling at the refs. You see how that worked? That's what your wife's for. Stop yelling at the refs.
She covered the game, though.
That's wisdom.
I was mad about myself.
That's because Mama Simon was at home cleaning up our bedroom suite. I was cleaning up the living room. I cooked him, right? His wife cooks for him. Y'all be complaining about these women not being submissive. His woman do everything for him.
Yeah, but somebody said something about voting.
Oh yeah, voting. It was in the article, Bubba. Remember?
Okay, I didn't catch it.
She said she wasn't enthusiastic about the poll.
But like when you go to other countries and you establish yourself, you don't have the necessity to vote, right? You just go talk to the people. We tell you time and time again, the mayor is our neighbor. We go there, we drive down to the mayor's house, there's something wrong, and we talk to the mayor.
Or if we have issues with the police, which we did a lot, the police commissioner is also our buddy. Him and the mayor got together to, and this is part of when we talk about the importance of physical social networking.
Yes.
If you're going to another country and you're planting a flag, You know, one of the sayings that I've been saying since I was young is, if you want to make the bed, right? That's the military days I was in. Make the bed for real.
Yeah,
If you're
make it
gonna
real.
plant a flag in another country, plant that flag. Be a staple in the community. Everybody knows us, and we don't necessarily catch or know everyone, but we carry ourselves in a way to where if we have a problem, we can go to these people.
And when you're in a community, give back to the community.
Yeah, we don't take anything from the community.
Yeah,
Everything we get from the
give back.
US, and we pour into the
You
community.
give back into the community, you know, your income, whatever. If you have like certain, what do you say, engagements or things like that.
But even when we take the kids to the gym, the police officers call us by name. They watch our vehicle. They watch our children. Like, you know, they're just on guard, like, is anything going on? You bothering assignments. It's just, it don't matter who the president is of Mexico for us, because we establish ourselves in the local community, right?
Yeah.
Two, we are also in charge of our economic climate. Whether the dollar's up or the dollar's down, Simon has been, for a very long time, even when we were younger, Simon had always had a propensity to save and try to invest. Granted, when he was young, he kind of didn't know better. It was stocks and bonds and stuff like that. I remember when you cashed in Sean's bond and he got a little something, and he was happy about that.
I bought his bonds before he was born.
Yeah. When we found out, as soon as he found out I was pregnant, and I wasn't even his wife yet. I probably shouldn't tell you that, but he went and he bought the bonds and everything. So he was always really serious about money. And then as time got on, he got more and more wise about how to save money in the ever-changing climate, ever-changing monetary policies. We stay on top of that. Another important thing that I really want to impress upon you guys is knowing your history, right? I know history is probably boring as hell to some of you, but knowing your history helps you to forecast the future, right? When you see the different iterations of our economic policies, you can already see where this train is going, right?
Yeah.
Understanding the tendencies of a corrupt government, and every government is corrupt. It says,
Right there, every government is corrupt.
Every government is corrupt.
Every government is corrupt. But in that, you have to know the history of your lineage, because if you're tied to a certain lineage, right? If, like for example, you tied to Guyana,
British Guyana.
and if they were to receive reparations,
Yeah, I'm able
you
to.
would have to know your lineage.
But if the United States paid out reparations, my husband and my sons would be eligible for it. I would not.
They have a group called CARICOM.
In Guyana, they're never gonna get it though.
No, it's Guyana, but it's all the.
It's all of the West Indian countries, but CARICOM's headquarters is Guyana.
But you know your lineage, like, hey man, y'all owe me something. So know your lineage, know your history, know where you're from, and as far as that, not even from even a reparation standpoint, but just know how things go in the country that you come from.
Just in case something does get paid out one day, but for now, y'all, make your own reparations with the Bitcoin. If you know that the United States ain't, because they're not, them people are not going to cop to what they did to us. We have to forge our own way. They always tell you, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Well, we don't have boots, but we pulled ourselves up anyway. And we're telling you that if you plan a certain way, if you implement a certain discipline, a certain consistency, a certain commitment, a certain sacrifice, don't matter who's in office. Don't even matter who your mayor is of your city, right? Your household will be fine.
Yeah, and another thing I want to say is, because I hear from a lot of people that they think they're too late to Bitcoin.
Never.
You're not too late. So
Never.
Get in now, dollar cost average.
Get in while the getting in's good. And it's good right now.
It is.
And it's even better with BK Crypto swag gear. That way you can flex on them.
Yeah.
Mo said, I believe in Jesus too. Yay. Y'all let me know. You know, the Bible says out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So that's why, you know, the Bible verses pop out, because that's where I get a lot of my wisdom from, right? Now, there is a verse in the Geneva Bible, which is in the 1500s. King James didn't like it, so he took the words out. He changed it. but it is Ephesians 6. Though we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and heavenly and world governments in high places. Every government's corrupt. King James didn't like that, so that's why in the King James version it doesn't say that.
Yeah.
But God be knowing what he talking about. BK Crypto, Hashgraph, yep. Twill line man for hire, only 6 likes. That's my dude right there. Thank you for reminding them to smash those likes, y'all. Please subscribe to, if nothing else, y'all, subscribe to our Twitter. I don't know, my Twitter is so pathetic, it's not funny. If y'all go on the drop down, Baby's been trying to build that Twitter up for us. And we want to use it more. Like Bitcoin Shango's on there. Shout out to Bitcoin Shango. Shout out to Bitcoin Chris. And we want to talk more. Zay is on there heavy. We want to talk more to our content cousins using Twitter. It looks crazy that we have 150. I lost 40 people, I think, this morning or something. Hubby told me. So I don't know what's going on, y'all, but if you love us, please at least subscribe to the Twitter. Mo said, I think Quant will be the next Bitcoin because Quant have more utility. We have Quant. We like Quant too, Mo. I don't know that'll be the next Bitcoin. That's a big shoe to fill, right? That's kind of like every basketball player going to be the next LeBron. It's like, I haven't seen the next LeBron yet. And it took a long time to see the next Jordan. So I don't know that Quant's going to be the next Bitcoin, but I like it.
Is Quant a commodity?
Oh, go ahead and give your speech then. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying Bitcoin is a commodity, and then these other cryptocurrencies are their own thing. And so
it's a different class.
It's a different class that it's going to be. It has no, what's the word? I use the word.
It has no counterparty risk.
There we go. It has no counterparty risk.
It's immutable.
It's immutable.
It has attributes of God. The other coins don't. It has no owner.
There is no CEO of Bitcoin. So these other places always have CEOs.
It's deflationary. It's not inflationary.
Yeah. So I don't know if it can get there.
But we do like Quant though, Emma. I like it.
I don't know if it get there though.
But yeah, that's a big leap, right? It's like this is gonna be the next Whitney Houston. It's like, she can sing, but I don't know about the next Whitney. I thought I was gonna be the next Whitney, y'all, but it didn't work out that way. My son's b-ball tournament was today too. We're all blessed. Got to be thankful for every little thing. David Middleton, were you yelling at the refs at your son's basketball tournament? That's what I want to know. That's all I want to know.
I was yelling.
Were you yelling at the refs?
I was yelling at refs who don't speak English. In English.
BK Crypto said pros and cons. Mo said I own HBAR. We have HBAR too. That's why I brought it up. Big Mad, thank you. Oh boy. Big Mad does not like my hair. So Big Mad said, another wig weave, you know you a simp. Well, first of all, you sound like you from Cincinnati talking about I'm a simp. I don't play that, right?
I don't know what that means.
I don't play that. And that's not what a simp means. So I'm concerned that you don't know what a simp even means. Unless you're talking to him.
Oh, I'm a simp.
Maybe you're a simp because I have the weave, but I'm sorry you don't like my hair. BK Crypto, welcome to the future. BK Crypto, basic income. They want you to own nothing and be happy. That has been coined, you guys. His name is Klaus Schwab. He is the president of the Economic Forum. His representative is King Charles of England. And what they are setting out to do is to literally set up a one world government where we live in what are called super cities. And these, not super cities, smart cities. And what these smart cities are pretty little prisons. You cannot travel more than 15 minutes. You can't, the smart cities are about 15 minutes, right? And you need permission to travel to another smart city. So just like how, like for my New Yorkers, you're not just gonna be going from Brooklyn to Queens. You're not just gonna be going from Queens to Manhattan. You're not just gonna be going from Lakeview to Uniondale, right? So for my Long Islanders, you're not gonna go from Rockville Center to Lynbrook. They don't want you traveling. They wanna isolate you. They don't want you to travel. They're going to have these street lights. And what the street lights will do is it's gonna send out like a broadcast signal, and everywhere your phone goes, it is reporting where you are in that moment. You know, the street lights are going to be within quick successions of each other. Your doors are going to be smart doors, like hotel doors. So if your social credit score goes down, you're grounded like a child, right? You cannot leave the house. You can't go anywhere. You can't talk to people. The people in your house are going to suffer because their social credit score is going to go down for being in contact with you. And it's also a way to kind of break the family up. And you see they're putting the narrative out now where they don't want the women with the men. They don't want the men with the women, especially in the Black communities. Because when you get Black communities and we link up with them, greatness happens. If you look at Bam Hardrick's family, greatness happens. You guys watch our show all the time. I would be good without my husband, but I'm excellence with him, right? And our children are excellence because we're a unified family, and what they want to do is they want to break all of that up so that they have more control over each individual. They also want to control your emotions.
Yeah, it's just so I could speak. I didn't realize who said what, but
What are you mad at?
nah, I'm just saying. Is he calling me a simp?
Are you worried about that? They don't like my hair. You a simp. Maybe I'm the simp, but if I'm the simp, they don't know what a simp means, so I'm not worried about it. Don't worry about it. Yes, sir. Repo Man. That was the name of the movie, Bam. Thank you. Repo Man. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
Yeah, they take back orders.
Mo said the CBDCs, right? And that's what they want to do. They want to turn the fiat to the CBDCs so that they can incentivize you in spending, or they'll curb the hell out of your spending. So, and it's another reason why they don't like Bitcoin, because they can't control it.
Yeah.
They have no control over it. They can't make any more. They can't seem to, other than buying it and having exposure to the ETF, they can't really make.
They can't make anymore. They can have the ETF. They can have like grayscale and stuff like that, but exposure to it, but there's no more. There's no more.
T. Will Line Man for Hire said Tesla coming out with robot taxi and Solana got pay, a Web3 competition for Grubhub and Uber Eats. Yep. And Tesla got hit hard though with the EVs. T. Will Line, I don't know, were you keeping up with that story? He voluntarily recalled all of them. I don't know if there was a issue with a switch or something like that. Plus, the government wants them to put the kill switches in there, right? Then I read a story about Ford. Ford had put all of their chickens in this bucket about their EVs, and it's a really nice truck. I ain't gonna lie, I said, man, I would like a truck like that. It's a really nice truck. It looked like the F350. I don't know what it's called, but it looks like that. It's a big truck. It's supposed to be an EV, and no one's buying it because the price point is just, I guess where the price point is, the people who could afford that price point would rather have, their little Maybach or, you know what I mean? Whatever those high tier cars are. They might want to prefer an Escalade or something like that. So Ford is having trouble with that EV. And I think they thought they were going to get those government subsidies. I got to look more into the story, but the EV situation right now, the electric vehicle situation right now is not looking great. Mo said, basically, there'll be no more middle class, right? I was looking at this chart, Mo, you're going to laugh at this. It said if you make like 70 to 90,000, you're poor. If you make 100,000 to 150,000, you're upper poor. If you make like 200,000 to 350,000, it's like you're almost there. It was just funny how they put this chart together. And then like 400 to 600,000, they were middle class. It was so funny.
Yeah,
upper poor.
Like I said, the money that people make is rate adjusted.
Yeah.
And so we always have to keep that in
Plus,
mind.
they're crushing debt, right? So even if it's rate adjusted, let's say you make 200,000 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. It's great money. But if you live way above your means, you're just as broke as the guy who only makes 30,000.
Yeah.
You got a lot of nice things, don't get me wrong, and you have the appearance of wealth, but you're crushing debt to income ratio. Yeah. You're way past paycheck to paycheck. Eventually, you'll probably have to file bankruptcy and so on and so forth if it continues to spiral out of control. We see celebrities all the time had millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and go completely broke. So,
Yeah, it's rate adjusted. Keep that in mind. It's rate adjusted. You got to keep your debt. Debt is really a big thing, and it's credit card debt and it's school debt. So those are things that really that crush you.
Mo, you're right. It says basically they're trying to say you're either going to be rich or poor, no middle class. Now, United States and I think some Western countries in Europe have that kind of middle class thing going. Other countries don't have that. It's a huge disparity between the wealthy and the poor. You see that here in Mexico all the time, right? We
You
live
see her? You see her right now?
we
She
live in a
rich.
development, right? And then
She's
right
rich.
outside of the development that we live in, I'm rich because my husband takes good care of me.
And she don't give me no money.
It's your money. What do you mean I don't give
I
you
don't
any?
get
It's
no
your
money.
money. Right outside the development that we live in, it's abject poverty. Like there is no in between. What they tried to do in Mexico City, they tried to kind of adopt a more American stance. It's called Naucalpan. And it's got like the suburban kind of style of America and stuff like that. But they're not middle class. They're just, in comparison to outside of Naucalpan, they're just rich or considered rich, right? And rich is, as Simon always tells you, that's relative, right? It just depends on the country you live in and the type of wealth that you have, right? For the young ladies, they're single, not single, but like they're head of household and they have dependents. They're getting back 8, 9, 10, $12,000 tax returns. Some people in this country don't make the equivalent of $12,000 all year long.
Well, I'm not even trying to.
And that's a tax return for
I
us.
ain't trying to even say nothing outside of but our eldest son has a very nice girlfriend, very pretty girlfriend, but they tap into us like
Man.
literally. I mean,
Man.
I ain't trying to say
So
nothing.
you come here and your sons get girlfriends, you have adopted her and her whole entire family. So it's a hot mess, y'all. We got to send y'all some swag. We definitely got to Zoom. Yes, BK Crypto. I'm going to check my email. I'm sure you sent me the email. I've had like multiple seizures this week. So that's why we didn't shoot the show on Thursday. I'm feeling a lot better today. So I'm going to get to my emails, I promise. Timadon, very serious series. Is that The Secrets of Hidden Money, Timadon? It's a great series. You guys should watch it. If you don't need to watch it, if you have nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, baby cousins, little cousins,
Yeah,
they should
man.
watch it.
Yeah, put that in. Put that in the curriculum.
It says, seems like we be living in the future for the past 7 years. BK Crypto cracks me up with his responses. Bitcoin is the big daddy. That's right. If this was Django, it would be Big Daddy at Candyland.
Why am I dressed like that?
Who that nigga on the neck? David Middleton was yelling at the refs too. All right, I can't do nothing with y'all in here.
Did you lose your voice?
Did you lose your voice, David, or do you still have yours?
I'm
Willie
surprised.
Fells, hello. Thank you so much, Willie, for joining us. You had joined us last show, I think, too. So thank you so much for coming back. Let freedom ring. Bitcoin is the key to freedom. Oh, Let freedom ring also say he loved us like a couple comments ago. He said, I
Hey,
love
y'all,
watching. I love y'all.
I was trying to get some new LeBrons. She won't buy me any.
I just bought him LeBron's for his birthday. Don't listen to what he's saying to y'all. Quant is involved in the development of central bank. Oh, are they?
Yeah, they are.
So you know about it? You talked to me about it after
Yeah,
the show.
me in person.
Talk to me about it offline. So one of the things that we did want to talk about, Hubby Cake stumbled onto something very interesting. So he wanted to get some more information about time theft. I know it's a topic that we talked about before, the stealing and the siphoning off of your economic energy.
Let's go into that.
And he's doing the research and he was like, babe,
Yeah.
you want to hear something interesting? I was like, okay. He said, all of the results for time theft are about the employees stealing time.
Yeah, we gotta go into that. That's some whole ass shit.
Right? So the corporations are out there. These are 9 ways employees steal time from you. These are the things you guys need to be on guard for when your frontline employees are stealing time, and they're stealing time. And there's very few articles about the employers basically siphoning off your economic energy. right? And it's not just them, because you got to remember the United States on a whole is a corporation. So they're all in league with one another. The super PACs, they pay, for those of you who are not politically inclined, they have these things called super PACs, where a significant amount of money is lobbied behind closed doors to politicians to make all of these great benefits and breaks and tax breaks and all of these other things for the corporation. Okay? When you guys get a chance, you definitely want to do some research on, it's called Empire City. So the United States is the military arm. London, right, where King Charles sits, is the economic arm. And the Vatican in Rome is the spiritual arm of what they call the Empire City, right? So when we talk about everybody being in league, and this is important for us to know, at the lower levels, they use media as propaganda to show us all of the differences, to show us, to be divisive, to show us how different we are. You're Black, no, well, I'm FBA, I'm Foundation of Black American, and I'm West Indian, and she's Dominican, and he's a New Yorker, and he's from Detroit, and they find all of these ways to get these labels. I'm a Republican, and you're a Democrat, well, I'm an independent party. They find all of these ways to divide us. I'm a Bitcoiner, you're a non-coiner, all of these great little ways to divide us, but y'all understand, even when we talk about the World Economic Forum, they are fully united because they understand the mission. I feel like the mission and the vision is to destroy us, but I'm sure that's after everything's all said and done. But I'm talking to y'all about the Empire City because I just want you to see how united they are. That this isn't just a United States thing when we talk about the United States corporation. Yeah. Right? It expands way past those borders. It transcends those borders. The World Economic Forum, they're telling you, you know, Ukraine is fighting Russia and this and that and the third. And when their political leaders go to the World Economic Forum, they greet each other with a kiss. Hey, how you doing? True. Right? So they show you one thing on TV, they get your emotions involved, they get you to be as nationalistic or whatever the label is they want to put on you, you know, the women against the men and da-da-da-da-da. But they're fully united because they understand the mission, they understand their vision, they understand their objectives. And we gotta peep game when we see it. So I'm saying all of that to say that they are all in league globally and finding ways to siphon off your economic energy because do you remember that show we did with the article where the 1% stole 50 trillion with the T from the 99%?
That wasn't too long ago, actually.
Right? Peep game. They are unified. There's a solidarity with them.
Yes, that's true.
And this is why they hate, they abhor, they rue Bitcoin, because Bitcoin does give you that aspect of what I like to call intrinsic independence, intrinsic freedom. But go ahead, babe.
Okay.
Yeah, I done ran my mouth a lot. You're good.
No, I'm good with that. Let's check the people out in the chat room and then.
You can smoke a bag of that.
Yeah, and then we can shut it down.
Let Freedom Ring said Bitcoin is the key to freedom. Exactly, and that's why they hate it. Crypto Hoops, thank you so much for joining us. Crypto Hoops, do you go to basketball games and yell at the refs? Let me know in the chat. David Middleton and my husband seem to have an affinity for that. I think I read that. Ty Madon said Black Mirror is a very serious series. Oh, Black Mirror is what you were talking about. Okay. Say the name of the Hidden Secrets of Money author again, please. Mike Maloney. And he's the CEO of Gold and Silver.
GoldandSilver.com.
GoldandSilver.com. Great series on YouTube. I think it's about 12 to 14 episodes, Ty Madon. Yeah. So definitely watch it. He does a fantastic job of giving you the history of monetary policy, explaining how money is created by debt in the United States, telling you how money works in the US. He talks about Bitcoin. He had a thing about H-bar, so there was a whole episode about H-bar. It seems disjointed, but it made us buy it. He takes you on his Bitcoin journey for sure. And this is in the days of paper wallets. So you're going to see him go and buy his first paper wallets. It's a great series, but it's a great educational series, the way he uses the animation and everything. So it's not just for adults. It's great for, I'm going to say at least fifth grade and on.
Okay.
It'll be absolutely beneficial. Hubby added that to the homeschool curriculum long time.
Yeah.
Even if your kids go to public school or private school and are educated by an outside source, you guys should still be implementing some sort of homeschool, even if it's for like 3 hours on the weekend. Right? Saturday morning or maybe Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, you should have a block. I would say 4 hours would be optimal. And have a little curriculum for them so that you can also implement, right? Nation building is a very serious thing.
Yes, it is.
It's very serious. I take my role as nation builder. I gave my husband, for those of you new to the show, I gave my husband 4 bouncing baby boys. And I take my nation building seriously. All of the stuff that we sit down and talk to you guys about, we instill in our children.
Yeah.
Right? We homeschool them. We talk to them about cryptocurrency. We talk to them about monetary policy. We teach them how to budget a household. For you parents out there who have children, it is a good idea. Take the bills out. Get your ledger out. Get your paycheck stub out. Or however you make money, whatever your income is. And show them how you keep the household running from month to month. Share your visions with your children for Bitcoin and your other coins. Show them the other coins that you have. Tell them what the utility is of the other coins. Really sit down and spend that quality time with them as best as you can, grade level appropriate. Oh, Crypto Who says, I coached the little ones. So you do be yelling at them. I know you're yelling at the rest if you're coaching them. Hubby coaches my son's team here in Mexico, and the refs give him a hard time all the time. So he's yelling at them. But he learned that from his coach, Coach Ralph Lee, Cincinnati.
We won.
So now he has no voice, Crypto Hoops.
We won. I get it back in a couple days, but yeah.
They had 2 games, or they played 2 separate games. They didn't play together. And they're always trying to separate them, and I hate that.
No, they played 1 game.
Sean and Reginald, one's 22, one is 16 going on 17. They try to find ways where they don't play together, because when they play together, they dominate the game, right?
No, they play together.
And so they be like, okay, Sean, you're going to play this game, and Reggie, you're going to play the next game, right? They're always trying to like, don't put them together, because they're going to dominate and they're always going to win, and you guys are. But I'm glad they played together today, because they do like to separate them. I don't like that.
Yeah, they played together. They won.
I don't like that at all.
That was good. It was a good game. It was a good day, like Ice Cube said.
Today was a good day. So the siphoning of your economic energy, the fact that the internet's going to be littered with hundreds of results talking about how the employee steals time from the employer, and maybe 1 or 2 articles about how the employers are stealing your economic energy. Right? It's a conversation that they don't want had, because this is the propaganda machine. And it's these independent content creators that are having the discussion. Now, the first time we really looked into it was when Robert Breedlove brought it up.
I came across Robert.
Go ahead, babe.
I'm sorry, y'all. I came across Robert Breedlove in about 2020. And he's really talked about it. Time theft and moving your the effort. Well, you hadn't said, you said it a good way, but your effort or your time that you work and move it across space and time. And so that you can unlock that energy
right
at a later date.
So it's a science, right? And everything we do is science. And the elites know that. They understand the sciences. They understand the metaphysics. They understand all of the stuff that the everyday person dismisses. So one thing about Bitcoin that's very important that you may know, you may not know, right? I don't ever want to make assumptions, is that Bitcoin allows you to move its economic energy across time and space.
Yes, because go back right now if you want to look what Bitcoin's price was in 2020, and look what it is now.
Right.
And you moved the
We said in the
energy that you
1 year
have.
chart, Bitcoin went up $60,000 because it was $4,000 1 year ago that day.
Let's say that again.
The day that we did the 1 year chart, remember it was 4,000 and that day it was 64,000.
5-year chart.
It was a 5 year chart. So 60 months, that's right. It was 60 months ago, right? So that's one whole car lease, right? Because your car payments are typically 60 months, right? So the first time, you know what I mean? That first payment to that 60th payment, right? On that 5 year chart, Bitcoin was 4,000. And on that same day, 60 months later, it was $60,000. And we've never seen any other asset or commodity, did I say something wrong?
No. Same thing.
Move like that. And then with the 1 year chart, it went up, I think I said, what, 27,000 or something?
Yeah.
In the 1 year chart. I do remember that conversation now.
And that's the thing. You know, this is how you move the money that you move, the energy that you use, you put here, and then you unleash it, like she said.
You unleash it. You unleash the power of it when you take profits, right? Because you bought it at this point, and then at a certain point when you're ready to take profits, it's more.
I mean, you have to
right?
take
But
profit.
your paychecks aren't doing that, right?
I'm just saying, people say never take profit, never take profit. I mean, you know, you have a family, you take profits.
Well, in the case that they take profits, that's the idea of what's happening.
Yeah.
2, Bitcoin is categorized by the IRS as real estate cyberspace. So let's talk about real estate. Let's be honest about it. A lot of people love real estate. And I think in my heart of hearts, it's because that is what people have done in the past in order to make money. And it's very different now, right? So in 1983, my mother and father moved from Hollis, Queens. Crack epidemic was kind of coming, right? They were on the cusp of the crack epidemic. So Hollis, right?
Queens in the house.
And they moved to this great house in Lakeview, Long Island, right? For those of you who are familiar with that area, it's called West Hempstead. And they purchased that house for $80,000 in 1983. Lo and behold, my mother and father are elderly people now. They're empty nesters. I'm the baby. I've already gotten married. I think by 2005. No, we didn't have Reggie yet, right? We have our little baby. They're empty nesters.
Yeah.
They want to do what New Yorkers typically do and move to Florida. When they sold that $80,000 house, and hear what I'm telling y'all, they got $445,000 for it. So this person paid, I'm going to say, close to $500,000 for a house that's really only $80,000, right? When you're looking at it like that.
Yeah, and the problem with that is, you know, a lot of people came from the South, and a lot of people came from other places, other islands, and it was cracking in Detroit. So you see a lot of people go to Detroit and buy houses. And those houses.
And now, this was the opposite now. So Detroit had this huge crash. These houses that were $110,000, $90,000, $80,000 were being sold. This is Detroit, were being sold for $7,000, $12,000. Cute little houses too, great starter houses. So like that went the opposite. That was the inverse of what happened in New York.
Yeah.
But they're showing you. I was watching on the news, right? This lady, this was 2 days ago. This lady, I wasn't feeling well, and I was watching the news, and the news title says, lady kicks squatters out of her $1.5 million home. So I'm kind of expecting, I don't know why, I have seizures, y'all, so I wasn't thinking straight. But I was expecting this, like, oh yeah, you need to kick them mugs out your nice house. It was just a 2-bedroom house somewhere in California. Squatters got it. Don't get me wrong, that's their property and squatters shouldn't be in it. But when the way they titled it, out of her $1.5 million home, I'm like, that house can't be bigger than 2,100 square feet. It's a 2-bedroom house in California. It don't even have a breakfast nook. Like, why is it 1.5 million? Bitcoin. If you don't, at this point, the housing market is a liability for you before it ever becomes an asset. And you got to remember, for those of you who are not well versed in this, the house is not an asset until it generates an income for you. If you are paying the mortgage, if you have to fix the roof, if you got to fix the water heater, if the plumbing's jacked, if the sewer leaks, not the sewer, what do they call it? They have a name for it when all the sewage come out of it.
Wow.
The sump pump or whatever it is no good. It is a liability to you.
Problems with the pool and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right? If you have a indoor, not an indoor pool, if you have an in-ground pool, that's what I want to say, or above ground pool, something goes wrong with anything on your property, it is a liability. If you say, and you just kind of change your thinking a little bit and say, instead of buying real property, I'm going to pump Bitcoin, I'm going to put into it what I would have put into a mortgage. You are still buying property in cyberspace because that's what the IRS considers it. And that's another way to protect your purchasing power. You're not part of a ARM or a balloon, weird mortgage increases. They said that when the feds hiked the rates, some people's mortgages went up to 7.9%. All of a sudden, right? So their next mortgage payment was more than they ever forecasted or anticipated when they signed the paperwork for the mortgage. Bitcoin don't do that to you.
Yeah.
Right? So Bitcoin is a way to have property. You want to brag and tell people, I got property all over the world? Buy some Bitcoin. And take it all over the world, right? Easy breezy. And with Bitcoin, it's an asset now. It's not a liability. Whereas real property is a liability before it ever becomes an asset.
Yeah, and that's what we do. And that's what we've been telling people to do. You know, and try to see what the people got to say.
BK Crypto said Long Island prices be off the chain now, but it wasn't like that, BK Crypto. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of felt bad for the person who bought the house I grew up in. One, because it was my childhood house. But two, because I know the house only cost $80,000. Wow. Now, granted, my parents fixed it up and did great stuff along the way and so on and so forth, but you get where I'm going. Now, that was in 2005. It's 2024. Let's say next year, 2025. I would be curious to see what it's worth now.
Just read other people's comments.
David Middleton, you're from Flint, Michigan. Ooh, how was the water and stuff today? I heard, David Middleton, that there was a Black military man who came there, and he invented this great machine to clean the water, and I think he was cleaning the water for free. And when he went back to the machine, this was another news broadcast, somebody had defaced it. But here's the thing. Whoever defaced it had to have significant engineering and electrical experience and understanding. So we knew it was agents who did it. So I'm wondering if, how are things in Flint, Michigan, if you could tell us. Ruel is from Detroit, cousin Rue, David, so he's right next to Detroit. Hold off on the house if you can buy Bitcoin. That's what we say. We offset, we already have a house, it's paid off. We're actually thinking about selling it in Florida, or I don't want to turn it into an Airbnb because I don't feel like dealing with that from here. But we're saying now, since we don't have a mortgage there, whatever we would have pumped into that mortgage, we pump it into precious metals and Bitcoin. Right? One, with the precious metals, we feel, and as a nation builder, I deeply feel that we want to, in our children's collective consciousness, that they are wealthy. Yeah. We want them to be born knowing what wealth is, how to manage it, how to deal with it, right? Because typically people squander wealth when they haven't had it before.
Yeah, you deal with, talk to Andy Shackman, he'll tell you that gold and silver, it is wealth.
Obviously, right?
Like whether you got 1 ounce.
Obviously.
Whether you got 1 ounce or you got 100 ounces.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it is wealth.
So we use that as a physical tool.
It's an offset.
Yeah, so we sit our children down, we dump all of it out, and have them touch it, hold it, look at it. We tell them, this is yours. This is for your children. You know, we have this talk with them so that when their children are born, it's already born into their collective consciousness that they're wealthy. They'll know what to say. They'll know what to do. They'll be in the right place at the right time. It's a whole prayer that I have for that collective consciousness that will be ushering forth once that first grandbaby
Yeah,
breaks
and
through.
you start early now, and then they'll get going on it.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's just good to get started on. Excuse me.
David Middleton says they claim the water issue is fixed. Obviously, he doesn't believe it. You can't trust what the government says, but he's in Arizona now.
Oh, okay. Thank
Ooh,
goodness.
it's hot there.
Nah, man, but he got
You
up
in the
out the
heat.
spot. He got up out the spot.
So, because for those of you who work the 9 to 5, so for my W-2s and my 1099s, a way to offset that siphoning off of your economic energy, consider that the average person gets a 2.3% raise or a 3% raise
Yeah.
when inflation is way higher than what's inflation. What do they say inflation is?
Well, they say inflation is anywhere from 8 to 9%,
That's what they say it is,
but it's over 20%.
right? And your
yeah,
raises are nowhere near that.
and if you go check out Mike Maloney, he'll explain it to you because CPI, they have very specific things that they use CPI on, but you have to use CPI on.
And that's what if you know, was kind of bringing up earlier.
Yeah, you know, whatever what went up, what the price of apples, what the price of milk.
But here's the game that they've been running. For those of
what
you who are W-2s, while you get that 2.3% raise, your medical done went up 12%, 14%, 16%, right? So it's like you got the raise here, but then in the benefit that you're supposed to be giving me, that went up almost 20%.
Yeah, so you're not really getting anything.
Groceries went up 12%, 15%, 18%,
Yeah,
just
go get
depending on
some
where you
eggs.
live.
The eggs go up way.
Right? Your
The
Duke
milk.
Energy bill, your utility bill, whoever you have in your market, that went up 6%. Your phone bill, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, Boost Mobile, whoever you have, that went up, right? And all you got was a comprehensive 2.3%, and all of the different bills and expenses that you each have an individual percent that it went up. And when you start doing the collective of how much did my expenses total go up this year, it's a crazy number. It's like 32%, but my 2.3% raise doesn't cover that 32% increase across the board.
Not at all.
Your parents are the real finesse 2 times. That's funny. Yeah, no, that's not something they expected. It wasn't something they could forecast. My dad kept the house up, hoping it would appreciate value. He would have never known that 30 years later, that's what it was going to look like. I mean, that was wonderful for them. But at the same time, the newbies who want to have their first time house don't have that same ease.
And and let me tell you, we did a very comprehensive show, and I'll run it back about the fourth turning because it just shows that people who were fortunate to be in certain, I guess, would you say timing?
Their timing was perfect.
The timing was
They
perfect.
said that in 1959, do you remember that newspaper article?
Yeah.
1959, the house was, I think, like $7,400, and your mortgage payment every month was like $46.25. And that sounds crazy
I
now.
remember, I mean, and I'm talking to my New Yorkers
30-year
now.
mortgage.
I'm talking to my New Yorkers, the cats who came back from World War II, the black men.
Oh, Levittown.
They were not allowed to get involved in Levittown.
Nope.
But the white men, they got
a free house.
And
$30,000. I can't remember what they called it. They had a name for it.
Yeah.
But it was basically their reparations. Helium Mobile. There is no inflation. You're buying off shares. Polls call from Vanguard. More Monkey Business. Hi, More Monkey Business. Thank you for joining us. You said there is no inflation. You're buying off shares. Polls called from Vanguard. I think I understand what you're saying.
I do not.
I think I do understand. I think he's saying because Vanguard and BlackRock are buying up all of the stuff that we're just buying their shares, like shareholders. But clarify that just in case I'm wrong. More Monkey Business. BK Crypto said Helium Mobile. What is Helium Mobile?
You remember that shit?
BK, it's a phone?
Nah, it's like a little, man, it was some shit we was gonna deal with. I said no.
Helium Mobile, what is it? Okay, talk to me about it later.
Yeah.
He said my parents are real finesse. So, we're talking about now how time is very different, right? Back then when my parents got their beautiful house, they got their young family. I was 2 at the time when we moved into that house. My brother was 6, and my other brother was,
13, so
he would have been 16, right? So they have a young family. They're boomers, right? So their timing was perfect. My dad had a great job. My mom had a great job. They both were involved in unions in New York, so they were well protected, blah, 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 blah. And even the fact that I'm bringing up that they were both in the union. My dad had his telecommunications union, and my mom had her nursing union. When was the last time you heard somebody was part of a union?
Go look up the fourth turning. The fourth turning. The fourth turning. We did a show on it, but look it up because it just shows you the timing. The turning is over.
Right. So we don't have access to those things. They're pushing 1099 jobs now because they don't want to pay into the benefits that come with that people are used to, right? You get a great high paying job, you get medical, you get dental, you get optical, you get HSA, FSA, you get all of these great things, 401ks, 403bs, all of these, great compensation and benefit packages. And now corporations are like, nah, we ain't doing none of that. We'll pay you a little bit more on the hour, or we'll pay you a little bit more in salary. We'll make you a 1099 so that we don't have to pay into those things for you. We don't have to invest in you. That is also a very clear economic time theft, right? Because as an employee, you are not getting the full compensation benefit package, and whatever extra they're paying you doesn't cover what they would have put into that. It's not even to say if we have to pay $30,000 all year long to pay for all of these different benefits for you, right? We're going to give you that in your salary. You're not doing that.
Yeah, and the unions, they're really kind of cracking down on unions. And
there's so many places that don't have unions
anymore. Unfortunately, that's just the way.
BK Crypto said yes, fourth turn, and y'all be doing some research. We're a bunch of nerds, BK Crypto. We try to look cool. We try to look like the cool kids, but we're really nerds. More money. No.
I'm not banging on you. I'm not banging on you guys. But I'm just keeping it real. These single women, they're getting jobs, but they don't have union protection.
No, there's no protection.
And so they have, maybe they're getting paid a nice salary, but they don't have a union protection. I worked for a union for many, many years, and union protection is very, very valuable. And so if you can get union protection, like she said, her mom, she had union protection.
My dad, too.
As a nurse, but now they don't really have nursing.
Unions, no, they don't have nursing unions.
Yeah, and so you got to be careful. You just got to be careful.
More Monkey Business said there is no inflation. You're buying. Okay, but he said I explained it right. Sorry. Oh, T. Willline said, sorry, I don't agree. I was paying more taxes on my employees than they were paying. It's not fair on businesses, honestly. I understand that, and that's a individual scenario for that, but I'm just talking like across the board, right? And the problem is that people are crying out more than ever. This is the most money I keep hearing it. This is the most money I've ever made, and I'm still barely paycheck to paycheck. And you're hearing that all across the board. Why are you hearing that? Because Your jobs are doing different things. They don't have the loyalty to their employees that they used to have. You never know when somebody's going to get laid off. They can't keep up. The raises don't keep up with inflations, no matter how spectacular you are as an employee. Two, I've also been telling people, you guys got to get out here, and I'm not talking to the content because I'm really talking into the ether at this point.
Okay.
You guys have to really get serious and get skill sets. Back in the day, if you didn't have a skill set, you can go get a job in retail or something like that, right? And you can kind of make it in life. Brick and mortar retail is shutting down at a huge rate. Companies in the U.S. are offshoring their businesses. As my husband says, the U.S. is basically hollowed out of manufacturing. You can't go to a factory, get a great factory job, retire, and live the life.
And we did that show too. So, I'm always going to go back. The Triflin Dilemma. We talked about how if, excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. Triflin Dilemma, when you have the world reserve currency, you have to push it out to the world. But what that does is it hollows out. It hollows out
industry within your industry and manufacturing within your country.
Yeah, and Max Kaiser and Stacy
explain it well.
But
what makes it even more of a dilemma for us is that with the dollar declining, with those countries that used to have that world reserve currency as payments, they're trying to dump that currency. They don't want it, right? And hence, that's where entering BRICS and BRICS Plus and all the other countries that want to be a part of BRICS. So now what happens is your country has hollowed out the manufacturing, has hollowed all of that out. You have all of these dollars floating around offshore. Now you add the complexity of all of these countries who don't want those dollars. It's still the world reserve currency right now, but they're working for it to not be. Those dollars have to come back home. And what are they going to come back home? Absolutely worthless. You want to add more complexity to that? Your administration is constantly writing a check to any Tom, Dick, and Harry anywhere in the world that needs some money, and they're big, huge sums of money. Israel needs another $25 billion. Sure, we're gonna write it in our magical checkbook. Ukraine needs another $400 million. Sure, we're gonna just write that check in our magical checkbook. Send the migrants, we'll take care of them, right? And it's all of these different things which are imploding.
Oh, but it's gonna implode, and we also have to speak about, I hate that it has to be racial, but they took the trades out of the city schools,
the skill sets, and they did that on purpose.
And they took them and they put them out in what do you call them? What you call them?
Like BOCES?
Yeah.
They call trade schools.
Yeah, trade schools.
But you got to pay for them where they were free.
Yeah, they took them.
I went to that. I did that on Long Island. We had something called BOCES. It was the Board of Cooperative Education Services. I took nursing for 2 years in high school. When I went to
what I'm saying is, that's Long Island.
But you had that in Cincinnati. Y'all had Diamond Oaks. Y'all had
I live in the city.
But you didn't live in the city. That's true.
You
didn't have that.
The city didn't have it.
Right, that's true.
Cats in the city couldn't get it.
That's true. That's true. It's because
excuse me for my voice, y'all.
Yeah, we had it Westbury. We used to all meet up. I told you my homegirls were from Roosevelt. And okay, yep. So people got to get real serious and get these skill sets too. There's a great opportunity for those of you who want to plant flags in these other countries. If you have that tech skill set, you can get great and fantastic jobs online. I have one and I love it. Great salary, great compensation and benefit package.
She won't give me no money, y'all.
I don't listen to him. He got all the money. It is in my name, but he still got all the money.
Give me no money.
But so you do have opportunities if you, as BK Crypto, as MO would say, if you finesse them, you can create great opportunities. So instead of spending every last penny of my paycheck in Florida, I can come to Mexico where, as he says, it's rate adjusted. And even though what the salary is, this specific salary here from the company, because of the Mexican economy, it's actually this salary. And we're able to really pump and throw a lot of money at Bitcoin and precious metals and our other coins, right? It allows us to invest seriously, is what I like to say, and put some serious capital on what we're doing. Now, as my husband says, one of his main phrases is choices and trade-offs, right? I know people see like, oh, you live in Mexico. I live literally on a farm, right? We have our sheep just had babies, right?
True.
We have a big black sheep, and she just gave birth to these 3 beautiful little lambs. We have sheep, we have horses.
So what is that, lamb chops?
No, we're not cooking them. We have cows, and you know, I don't have, Amazon takes over a week to get here. You guys are used to getting Amazon in a day, right? We don't, the only name brand fast food restaurant we have in the town we live in is Domino's. There's no McDonald's, there's no Burger King, there's no DoorDash. You got to jump in your car and go get the stuff, right? There's no DoorDash, there's no Uber. You would have to, if you didn't have a car, you got to walk all the way to the gate, past the gate, and wait on the street in the dust for a cab. So there's choices and trade-offs, right? I like it because I like the tranquil living. As I can't remember who said it, y'all be doing y'all research. But yes, Simon and I have ample time to think, to plan, to prepare. Like, we use this solitude and the lack of what we like to call conveniences in order to really optimize the vision that he has for his family. So choices and trade-offs. You guys choose, right? You want to live in ritzy New York, you want to live in Manhattan, you want to be able to jump on the train, go to a Nets game, sit on the floor seats and stuff like that. You're taking money away from your investments. You choose. But it's something to think about. It's something to think about. I'm trying to be like Cece, Bam. I think chickens are mean, so I have to work my way up to the chickens. I had bad experience with chickens, which is why we don't have them. But we do want to start growing. Our time is spent a lot on the children, on the businesses. I do have a full-time gig. So I want to try to carve out time to grow fruits and vegetables, even though there's a fresh market on every corner. I just want to do it because I think it'll be good, energetically. Um, yeah. If everything goes up and you're not better off, if everything goes down, better off. You're no better. I get what you're saying. Okay. Mark Ray, thank you so much for joining our show. We appreciate you. We're about to wrap this thing up. Mark Ray, they even changed the military pension standards. I heard that, but I didn't see that. Did they lower the military? Now that's crazy, because when you look at government spending, the chunk of that spending is supposed to go towards defense. So now I want to know if the military pension standards have been altered. Where y'all throwing the money at? The contractors, the backdoor buddies that they do business with under the table? Twill Line Man for Hire said, did y'all touch on the 1.2 trillion the U.S. printed 2 nights ago? No. Well, I'm gonna look into it. We getting some helicopter money? We need the helicopter money. I'm gonna put it right in Bitcoin. We put all of our helicopter money in Bitcoin, y'all. We had it here, it was called tech school, but it was high school. Yes, so ours was BOCES, and the bus used to pick us up at our school. All of the schools on Long Island, Freeport, Westbury, Roosevelt, Uniondale, all of the schools met up at this place in Westbury, which was called BOCES, and they had like automotive, cosmetology, nursing, medical assistant. I'm sure they had some other ones that I just can't remember right now. I did that for 2 years. I loved it, and I absolutely advocate for that. The 1.5 trillion is going into crypto. Courtney Johnson, hi, sweetheart. Thank you so much for joining us. What are we talking about? I got to rewind the show. Yeah, we're almost done too, sweetheart, but I'm so glad that you joined us. More monkey business. So you have black, we have, yes, our our sheep are black. We did that on purpose. We did that on purpose. We do have some white sheep, but we have more black sheep than we do white sheep. Obviously, we have a black horse. We did that on purpose. We do have a brown horse. I don't know. I just said, just make sure none of my horses look like the ones in Revelation, and we good. And then we have our cows, which are all different prints and stuff like that. Rural land is the way to go. Grow your own food. Well, here in Mexico, it's not like America, right? Let freedom ring. So there's no GMOs or anything like that. We have seeds. If the kids and I, we had bought some avocados. We went and stuck the toothpick in them and grew like this great little plant. Didn't turn into a tree because I didn't nurture it, but the seeds are live seeds in our foods. But like I said, there is a fresh market literally on every corner selling fruits and vegetables. There's an abundance of fruits and vegetables here. And when I say that they're right off the tree, they're not beautiful like they are at Whole Foods. You know, all your oranges and your apples are perfect. Our fruit are so beat up because they literally fell off the tree. They're beat up, they're bruised, they're different colors. It's crazy, but it's delicious, right? Because it is the way God had absolutely intended it. So,
Okay, I can do that.
so, but we'll get to it. We have to carve out the time to do it, and I don't know. It's so hard to carve out time sometimes.
Somebody do it. Yeah, we need somebody to do it.
Or yeah, maybe we'll hire someone to do that. But then at that point, we might as well just go to the store and buy it. Oh, you go to the market and buy it. I don't know. I'm working on it. But I watch, like I said, y'all should check out Bam's family on Facebook. I watch Cece, you know, in her garden and stuff like that. And she got the chickens and they have a little toddler and she goes and she gets the eggs and stuff. And I'm like, man, I want to do that. But I had a really bad experience with chickens. I think they're mean as hell. I don't like them. Like, I'll just buy my eggs from the store for now. But we're going to wrap this up, you guys. I can't tell you how much Simon and I appreciate you guys joining us whenever we come on, chopping it up with us. Y'all get in this chat and y'all talk to us like we're at a family cookout. And we really, really appreciate y'all. Again, we'll never sell you anything, but we are always going to encourage you to support your content cousins any way you can. They're Black businesses, right? Support them. With Grizz, he's not selling anything. Just subscribe and watch his show. He is going to talk about the technicals of like XLM, XDC, Quant, Solana, Cardano. XRP, you know, so he's got a different audience that you guys can tap into. Simon and I, we like to do the more mindset stuff and the real world application of things, right? And then, you know, you have the other content cousins, like Rue does the metaphysics of stuff. You have content cousins who do the technical analysis. And we're all coming together to put this portfolio together for you to be the very best version of yourself and the very best version of your household.
Yeah, we're coming together. We're looking for new. Damn.
Yeah, you're not going to yell at the refs next week. Oh, they don't have basketball next week.
We're looking to make it where we get some other stuff going on. Maybe some, we got some looking like cigars and crypto. We might do that. We might do a couple other things, but we're trying to bring some other people in. And
so if you're interested, if you say, you know, I would like to do a show and talk about this, please reach out to us so that we can get you together with Bitcoin Zay and get you on the network so that you can do your part in the education. Lastly, last announcement, Bitcoin Zay, his book, I'm going to keep reminding you guys, there's a chapter on that book that talks about 33 ways to earn Bitcoin for free. And there's ways in there where you can get your children involved, and we think it's incredible. The book should be coming out Juneteenth. If you guys need, details on how to purchase Zay's book, how to get, you know, in touch with it, or what do you need to do, go ahead and email us. It's in the drop down, assets.arbitrage@gmail.com. So that You guys can get the pre-sale information. Mo, I know this is off topic, but I seen a robot cleaning the toilet. AIMF, that's hilarious. Where was he cleaning the toilet?
That's what I need.
We saw, Simon and I saw, and I promise I'm gonna let y'all go. Simon and I watched this news
70.
feed,
Oh, wow.
and it's the first company to have a fully robotic CEO. It was for a wine company. And she was talking about how she's good because she doesn't have biases. So when she's hiring people, like he said, ageism, gender, and all of that other stuff isn't a factor. She can make split decisions, but she doesn't get paid a salary. She's a robot. She can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She's on call. So any money that goes towards her actually goes towards her maintenance, which is, at this point, I don't know what it would be, because it might be an actual salary if she was a human being. Just depending on her programming, her updates, if her hardware, right? So I don't know. But imagine, like, okay, we did the CEO, now let's do the CFO, because he can do computations in his brain. Now let's do a robot, let's do frontline employees. We need 6 employees frontline, all robots. And you're running this whole firm with no salaries, no compensation and benefits, no sick days, no, what else do employers say? Nothing, right? Except obviously just the upkeep of their hardware, software programming and stuff like that.
It's crazy. Crazy.
So that is really what the world is trying to come to. And if they're doing that, understand, well, what's going to happen to us humans? They're going to try to push that universal basic income. They're going to try to make you like these weird little slaves and stuff. It's a very dystopian outlook, and like the book 1984 is looking more and more like you must have been a time traveler because you got this down to a T. So we need to continue looking at it and doing what we can. I don't know. It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
More Monkey Business said, just don't get a black swan, like a black swan event. Bro, how I get that tequila? I know you lit. Not today, Courtney. Not today. What are you drinking today, Romero? Yeah, it's just Romero today, but he ain't lit today. All right, David Middleton, have a great night. Crypto Hoops, have a great night. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
On that.
The tequila?
Yeah, no, on the other one.
The other tequila?
What?
You drawing a blank?
What's it called?
What?
What you call it? Get the money.
Remittances?
Oh.
Get what money?
Just put on here.
The Cash App?
Yeah.
Oh, Cash App's on there, but we ain't asking y'all to do nothing.
I'm trying to get some LeBrons.
Y'all don't listen to him.
Because you won't let me get none. So if you feel sorry for me.
Don't feel sorry for him. He gets treated very well.
Size 13.
Bye, y'all. We love y'all so much. I am just going to ask if you guys can please, if you have a Twitter account, follow us, show us some love. We need to build that up so that we can reach certain audiences and stuff, and to get other influencers on the show with us. Because we look like we're impersonating us. It looks crazy. They're like, wait. Somebody said to me, like, Aaron, I thought y'all would have had like 300,000 followers. I thought you were somebody impersonating Simon Family. I'm like, no, I got to build it up. So feel sorry for me. Follow us on Twitter. We love y'all, and we will see y'all Monday evening.